why you have mind related issues. I am getting stressed, I have anger, I'm not able to control my anger, I have fear, I have insecurity, I have all kinds of negative emotions, I am totally completely depressed. All these are mind related problems. Now why did you end up in all these mind related problems is simple. You have violated the psychological law. Now, when I say the physical law which is governing the body and the psychological law which is governing the mind, these are the two laws which is there in the existence. This is what we're calling it as cosmic law. The moment you violate a particular law, you end up in a problem, and that problem we call it as karma. In spirituality, it is called as karma. Now, why did you end up in this karma? Because you're simple. You violated a particular law. Now, this violation, when it reaches a certain point where it cannot be recovered, now that is called, the past karma, which is completely gone. You can't recover from it. When you reach that stage, you can't do anything because it's already over. It is also called law of cause and effect. You created a cause. That is, you violated a particular law, and because of that violation, a case has been filed against you, and there is a judgment has been passed, and the execution is already over. The punishment has already been given. Now you can't do anything about it. The whole cycle is over. But if you have created violation and a judgment has been passed and the punishment is pending now, it is on the half the way, there is a possibility of reversing this. When can it be reversed? There are two things. One is solve the immediate problem, and then make sure that you understand why the problem came to me and completely reverse the whole situation and never ever violate that particular law which has given you this punishment. Now, this is the ultimate solution, provided the punishment is not completely given it to you. Still, it is pending. Say, for example, let's take a small example. Now, you are driving a car, on a rough road full of thorns, and the road is completely haywire and a lot of thorns and nails are there. Now, the moment you enter that road from a highway, immediately you end up in a puncture. All 4 tires have gone. Now, the moment you go to the workshop and immediately you fix the flat tires, and now the car is ready to run, and again you are going on the same road. Definitely you are going to end up with the same problem again. Again the 4 tires, and you are taking it to the garage, fixing it, again you're going, again you fall into the same problem. Now what happens is, now you are not supposed to go in this particular road because your car tire is made up of rubber. The moment you enter into a road which is completely haywire, then definitely you're bound to end up in a flat tire. There's no choice. Now the first time when you entered, you had a problem. Now the first step is to fix the problem. The next step is you should never go in the same route. You have to change the route. Now this is where you need to use your intelligence and find out the source of the problem. Why did it occur? Solving the problem is step 1. Then you finding the reason for why I ended up in this problem. You need to find the reason and change the whole source of it. The moment you do that, you end up in a permanent solution. The same thing happens with your body also. Now you end up in a problem. Now you have a problem with your liver. Now you are going through with this problem, liver problem, for the past 10 years. Now you go to the doctor says he kept on giving treatment for you, and finally he says the treatment is not solving your problem. Why? Because the doctor may give a medicine and the liver may recover about 20% or 30% from 0 to 30%. It has recovered now. Now again you keep on repeating the same mistake. Whatever you've been doing for all these 10 years, again the liver is getting damaged. Now you're not solving the problem of this liver permanently. Now that is where the issue. Now instant rectification is the first break, the first solution. That is not the permanent solution. The permanent solution is completely, you need to change the pattern in which you have been feeding the liver. Has to be completely recovered. Only then, because you are violating the physical law. With this body, the kind of food which you are feeding is a complete violation. You're not supposed to feed this particular food to this body, because if you feed with the wrong fuel, this body is suffering, liver is suffering. The day on which you understand, I am putting a wrong fuel, that's why my liver has got damaged in the first stage. Now you don't put the same fuel, you eat the right food, and the liver is becoming healthier and healthier. Now this is the permanent solution to come out of complete violation. Now if you don't do that, again and again you're repeating the same mistake. Now again and again the violation happens, again and again the physical body will keep on suffering. Now this is the fundamental thing. Karma means it is the violation of law. Now fixing the problem is step one. Permanently coming out of the problem is following the law. You need to abide by the law. You should understand the law, start following it consistently in order to recover completely. If there is a stage where it can be recovered, then it is possible. But if there is a stage where it cannot be recovered, it is completely impossible. So this is what we call it as past karma, present karma and future karma. It is divided into two: violation of the past, violation in the present, and violation with the future. And all these things, if the execution is not happened, if the punishment is not executed, then there is every possibility of recovering it. But with the past, you can't do anything. It's already over. And the execution is already done. The punishment is already given. So that cannot be done anything. So you need to look into the karmic structure, whether it is past, present or future, and act accordingly whether it can be recovered or not. So first thing is, my dear friends, you need to fix the problem. The second thing is, you need to completely understand the law of existence, the law which is there governing the human beings. That is what we're calling it as cosmic law. Without understanding that, nobody can escape from the problems or from the issues which we are going through physically, mentally, morally, spiritually. Guruji, when you said the past karma, present and future karma, when you say past karma, is it the past years from this birth, or the past karma will be carried from the previous births also? It's a very good question. It carries from all your previous birth, not only in this birth. Whatever violation you have done in the previous birth also, previous not only one birth, it could be hundreds of previous birth. That violation has not come to the stage of execution. If it is not yet, the punishment is not yet been executed in your past life, it will get executed here. So the punishment, you have to go through that. You have to balance it out. Whatever you sow, you reap. If you have not reaped in the past life, you have to reap it now, or you may reap it in the future. Depending on what kind of karma you have committed, it takes, the time duration is determined according to that. It is a very complex calculation. Nobody can calculate that. If the violation is very small, immediately they will give you, problem will be settled. But if it is going to be huge, then it will continue not only in the previous birth, in the present birth also. So that is why we are encountering all the problems, whether it is a mental, physical or psychological or spiritual or whatever issues you are facing in life. It is one simple thing: violation of law. You can take it like that. There is a cosmic law, you have violated it. The moment you have violated it, a case has been filed against you and it is waiting for execution. That's the point. Now, this case, we call it as, in a spiritual term, we call it as karma. It could be present, it could be past life, it could be past, previous, 10 births or 15 births before that. And it can be carried in the current, it can be completed in the current births, or it can carry on to the next birth also. So every birth you take, it is simply because of your karma. It is simply because there are unfulfilled desires are there, unfulfilled issues are still pending. So that is why you have taken this human body. With the human body, you can dissolve all your past, present and future karmas. Without the body, everything stays there. That is why human births is invaluable. It is the most precious thing which we should not waste our life.
In continuation of the age-old tradition of the wisdom of India, to join the Alchemy program conducted by Guru Mitra Shiva, kindly register or call 96559 92559. Visit our website www.matangifoundation.org. Guru Mitra Shiva's alchemy classes are conducted in Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai, Trichy, Salem, Pondicherry, Bengaluru, and London.